On June 5, 2025, one of the richest and most influential men on Earth, Elon Musk, took to Twitter and tweeted something that would change the course of history. In the tweet, Elon said, "Time to drop the really big bomb. The real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT." Elon Musk accused a former US president of being linked to the world's most notorious pedophile ring, and he did it on his platform. Moments later, he followed up with, "Mark this post for the future. The truth will come out." The tweet made the internet go wild. Screenshots flooded Telegram channels, Discord servers, and Reddit threads. Hashtag Epstein trended within 4 minutes, and Elon's initial tweet racked up 72 million views in under an hour. But the real question is, how did Elon Musk go from being friendly with Trump to publicly accusing him of ties to a pedophile ring? I love @real Donald Trump as much as a straight man can love another man. How can two people have such a public fallout? Well, it all started with Trump's proposed Big Beautiful Bill Act. It is a massive $2.2 trillion budget and tax plan aiming to extend key parts of the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which are set to expire in 2025. And Elon Musk wasn't having it. He slammed the bill as a disgusting abomination and publicly shamed anyone who supported it. Musk even claimed that it more than defeats all the cost savings achieved by the Doge team at great personal cost and risk, referring to the bill. And that wasn't just an exaggerated comment, it was the truth, but no one could have expected what came next. Donald Trump responded, saying, "Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy." And within minutes, the tone had shifted from political disagreement to outright warfare. Tesla stock tanked, dropping over 14% in just 2 hours. That is $150 billion in market value. Hedge funds dumped shares, retail traders panicked. People began to ask if this is political suicide or calculated chaos. And Elon just kept posting. He retweeted Trump's old tweets, pointing out that the only reason Trump won the election was because of him. Musk even claimed that Congress members didn't have time to read the budget bill. And no one could ignore the implications. This wasn't just a public spat between two billionaires. This was the world's richest man accusing a former president who may run again in 2028 of involvement in crimes so heinous that even the media hesitated to talk about it. From pedophilia accusations and Epstein's file connections and high-level cover-ups, the story only gets darker. Both Elon Musk and Donald Trump have had their names surface in conversations surrounding Jeffrey Epstein. Level 2. Hidden ties, what the public forgot. Trump and Epstein ties. For years, Trump's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein has been treated like an open secret, the kind of thing everyone hears rumors about, but no one's allowed to talk about, until now. But to understand the connection between Trump and Epstein, we need to go back to the 1980s. The timeline starts with Trump and Epstein when they were acquaintances in the 80s and 90s, often seen at social occasions together in New York and Palm Beach, Florida. Their appearances together were documented in news coverage and social pages at the time, while US media reported the two became close during the 1990s when Epstein bought a manor near Trump's Mar-a-Lago compound in Palm Beach. A 1992 video published by NBC shows Trump and Epstein socializing and watching dancers at a party hosted at Mar-a-Lago. In a 2002 profile of Epstein by New York Magazine, Trump was quoted as describing Epstein as a terrific guy who enjoyed the company of beautiful women on the younger side. "I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side," Trump said. Flight logs released during court proceedings against Maxwell showed that Trump flew on Epstein's private jet at least 7 times between 1993 and 1997, occasionally with family members. And then there's Epstein's Black Book, a contact directory obtained in 2015 by Gawker. It was a US blog that covered celebrities and media and was later submitted as court evidence. It listed multiple phone numbers and addresses for Trump, including his office, home, and Mar-a-Lago. A 1994 lawsuit filed under the alias Jane Doe alleged that Trump raped her at an Epstein party when she was just 13. The case was quietly dropped in 2016, just before the election. But now, screenshots of the filing are flooding Twitter, gaining more attention than ever before. There are even photos of Trump and Epstein laughing at a party. It was a redacted guest list from a 1997 Palm Beach event. He never pointed the finger directly because he didn't have to. Diddy, pardons, and deals. While Trump may have been involved with Epstein, his potential pardon of Sean Diddy Combs also raised a few red flags. The relationship between Diddy and Trump stretched back decades, rooted in their shared presence in New York's elite circles. Diddy was an influential hip-hop mogul, and Trump was a real estate magnate turned television star. Both rose to fame around the same time and occasionally crossed paths at social events, creating a unique connection that turned into friendship over the years. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, the two were frequently seen together at exclusive events. Trump, who was a celebrity fixture even before his political career, attended Diddy's high-profile parties, including the artist's 29th birthday celebration in 1998. After the invitation, Trump described Diddy as legendary. However, his friendship with Diddy declined as Trump entered the political landscape. In particular, Diddy openly criticized Trump on his reforms and his impact on the black community. But everything shifted on March 25th, when federal agents raided Diddy's home in Los Angeles and Miami, seizing hard drives, phones, and surveillance footage. Though the warrant remained sealed, the rumors spread quickly with allegations of sex trafficking, underage girls, NDAs, and hush money. It all sounded eerily familiar. During a press conference at the White House, Fox News reporter Peter Doocy asked Trump whether he would consider pardoning Combs. Trump responded in the following way.
I think people have been very close to asking. First of all, I'd look at what's happening, and I haven't been watching it too closely. I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, that relationship busted up from what I read. I don't know. He didn't tell me that, but I'd read some little bit nasty statements in the paper all of a sudden.
Back in 2021, just before leaving office, Trump had also handed out a wave of controversial pardons. But what most people don't realize is that those pardons were decoys. They were a way for bigger names to escape headlines and a way to distract from sealed pardons handed to behind closed doors. These pardons were filed under national interest, and their names were scrubbed from the public record as a result of the pardon. Tariff manipulation. Elon also publicly criticized Trump's tariffs, particularly those targeting steel, aluminum, and electric vehicle components, calling them punitive for industries like his own. In April of 2025, Musk took to X to attack Peter Navarro, Trump's then trade advisor, calling him a moron and questioning his qualifications after the implementation of new trade burdens. These tariffs weren't harmless economic tools, though. They carried political weight. Soon after Musk's criticisms, Trump and allies threatened to revoke federal subsidies and contracts for Tesla and SpaceX. As the feud intensified in June, Trump publicly said terminating government support for Musk's companies would help cut the budget. This was extortion. The tariffs were a weapon and a punishment for disobedience. The victims of these tariffs were workers, families, and smaller EV startups now facing inflated import costs and shrinking demand, all because one billionaire refused to fall in line. Innocent people were dragged into the feud. Other leaks and supporters. This is where things get darker. Trump's web of allies included shell corporations, influence networks, and a revolving door of ex-felons and political operatives. Some of Musk's leaks hint at possible laundering routes through political PACs, improper campaign reimbursements, and influence buying through telecom surveillance data. And it's not just Trump, it's the system that protected him. When a file is sealed or a case is quietly dropped, someone is always benefiting, and it's rarely the victim. Now, Elon wasn't just calling out Trump, he was calling out the machinery around him: law firms, donors, judges, regulators. People who built walls around these men and solid access for favors. Musk may have lit the fuse, but it was built by 1,000 hands. Level 3. Weaponized power, corruption in motion. But on June 6th, just hours later, Musk quietly deleted several of his most incendiary posts, including the one claiming Trump appeared in Epstein's files. The tweet just vanished from his profile, but not before screenshots went viral and every major outlet had already picked it up. When asked by a reporter if they might cancel some of Musk's contracts, Trump had this to say.
Look at everything. I look at everything. He's got a lot of money. He gets a lot of subsidy. So we'll take a look at that. Only if it's fair. Only if it's fair for him and for the country. I would certainly think about a deal, but it has to be fair.
Trump, when further asked about whether the US can survive without Musk's contracts, he said, "Yeah, they can, sure. The US can survive without almost anybody, except me." On the surface, it sounded like a routine and simple clarification, but insiders saw it for what it was. It was damage control because Musk's companies rely heavily on government partnerships. And Trump had already considered pulling EV subsidies and revoking contracts. The message wasn't reassurance, it was a lifeline. Then, on June 11th, Musk issued a rare public apology. "I regret some of my posts about President Trump last week. They went too far." But behind the scenes, the tone was anything but cordial. White House sources confirmed Vice President J.D. Vance and Chief of Staff Susie Wiles had intervened directly. They arranged phone calls. Insiders described the conversations as tense, laced with indirect threats and subtle references to pulled funding, delayed permits, and unresolved matters. Which raises a deeper question: was Musk's June 5th post a meltdown or a warning? Because Epstein Island wasn't just a scandal. He was the architect and the one who built the system. By turning secrets into leverage and leverage into power, his death didn't end the game. It protected the players. Now the network includes Musk and Trump and others. All of them know what's in those files, who might be named, and what those names are worth. Since then, Tesla's market cap has dropped $150 billion in a single day. SpaceX drew quiet scrutiny, and the robo-taxi launch was delayed. Regulators are circling Musk's platform again. So, was it a coded threat? We may never know. Conclusion: the iceberg is melting. And if this is happening in public, imagine what's happening behind closed doors. From deleted posts, the sudden apologies, and the quiet interventions, these are just the surface. So whatever's in those files, whatever calls were made, it's clear this is only part of a larger game. One with players haven't even seen yet.